right there, Latin 2. Here we go with Androcles and the Lion, chapter 49. Let's do the glossary. So, admiratione esse is to be a source of amazement. Okay. Androcles, this is a Greek name, obviously. It gets turned into a third declension noun. Quasi, as if. This is where we get quasi. It means just as if it's this thing. Admiror, admirari, admiratus sum, to wonder at. Okay. Placide means peacefully or gently. Clementer. Okay, placide is where you get placid, right? Clementer, clemency. It means kindness. So if you have a friend named Clement, it means they're kind. There's a pope named Clement. There are several popes named Clement, who I think led the, what do you call them, the Crusades. I could be wrong, but it sounds like just the kind of juxtaposition that they would have loved. But clementer means in a kindly manner. Blande, it's bland, right? So it's in a winning manner. Ex animatus aum, this means paralyzed. You're out of your mind. So you can't move. Mutuus, mutua, mutuum. This is mutual, okay, obviously. Crudelitas, crudelitatis. This means cruelty. The atis is almost always a feminine noun. It's a concept word. It's an abstract. So you've got a lot of different classifications of those that we've run into. Now, I love this verb, lambo, lambra, lambi, which means to lick. And I used to think, well, of course, because you'll always see it with lingua. You licks them with the tongue. I'm like, well, what the heck else would you lick them with? And then I remembered corporal punishment. When I was a kid in Florida, they loved hitting kids, and you would get what are called your licks, and they would hit you with something, and that's getting a lick. And a lick is really just a striking with something, with the fullness of that item. So it does make sense. But I always think never lick a lamb, because your tongue will get furry. Let's see, parco, parcera, peperki, plus the dative. Because instead of to spare, say to show mercy to. Kogo, kogra, coegi, coactum. I think we've seen this before, but this means to force or to compel. That's where we get coagulate, forcing the blood together to clot. Turn the page, you've got doleo, dolere, dolui, doliturum. This is to be sorry or to be sad or to grieve. If you have the doldrums, you're sad. Claudusaum means lame. Which means the name Claudius means lame. If someone is a Claude, they are clumsy. Lateo, latere, latui. This is to lie in hiding. This is where we get the word latent, by the way. People have latent thoughts. Mitis is e. This means gentle. This is where we get the word mitigate from. Mansuetus aum means tame. I know that there's suavis, which means smooth, and then mans is having to do with staying, and I'm wondering if there's some sort of combination there. Now, the next one I really like, stirps, stirpes. This means thorn, but later on it can come to mean things like your offspring, because they are a small branch that comes off of your family tree, but it means thorn. Consensus, this is consensus, obviously, agreement, it's a fourth. Now, weskor, weski, I can't think of the third principal part. I don't know that it exists for us. But it takes an ablative because it means to feed upon. And you're feeding upon things. Something that you're feeding upon is the instrument that you were using for feeding. So I always picture somebody like eating a rabbit and just like putting the rabbit up to themselves and they're weskor. Now, go over to page 241, and there's just 4 verbs that they list there in the first person singular that you already know. I realize that. I see that you know that, and I feel that it's not necessary to go over them. Cool. So that is the glossary for right now. We're going to go over... Oh, no, there's a little bit more. Let's take a look at 243 now. So just a little bit more. Kawea, kawei. This is a cage, not a cave. This is a cage. A spelunka is a cave. Kawea is a cage. Imanis is a. This is immense, right? Huge. Miror, mirari, miratus sum means to wonder. So there's a lot of words that have to do with just being stupefied. Re wera. This means actually. So now you can talk about a well actually. Impetus. This is where we get impetuous from. It's the fourth declension noun, means attack. Redeamus, just take it as a gift, means let's go back, let's return. Now we got three words right there. Imito, imitera, imisi, imisum, which means to send in. It's just mito plus in, right? It can also mean to release, send it in. Incipio, incipere, incapia, inceptum. This is capio capra, but in, right? So you are taking it in, so you are beginning it, okay? So where we get inception from, okay? And then intellego, intellegra, intellexi, intellectum. This is to understand or to realize. And I think this is related to lego, legora, but I am going more on intuition than anything else for that particular one. So that should do it. I mean, there's a few vocab words sprinkled throughout the reading. Speaking of which, what I want you to do now is read pages 244 to 247. And then I want you to go ahead and do Word Study 12. Do all 8 exercises, 1 through 8. All right? And do them the right way. Don't do them the short way. All right. I'm going to hit the button.